Hi guys, this is Sara with Raven's Crochet. Welcome back to the channel. My furry feline Raven is on the floor looking at me. This is going to be a little bit different of a video. I'm still going to show you yarn and talk to you about what I've been working on. But it's Monday and I woke up extremely sad and depressed today. So today's video is Monday's Mental Madness. I won't be doing these videos often at all, and this is only my second video in a year that I've done on mental depression, on mental health, pretty much. I don't like talking about mental health because I don't want them to be staple reminders on my channel. My channel is about happy things and happy memories and happy projects. And I don't want to be reminded later in life of the struggles and the depression triggers that occurred in my life. I'm really sad about one of my little sisters right now, and we haven't been in touch. I'm not really sure why, but I'm doing everything I can to be nice and sweet to her and loving, because I miss her like crazy and I love her and I really care about her. I think she's going through some stuff right now though, so I'm not real sure on that. It's just really sad to me that we've been out of touch. One of my other sisters and I, we didn't grow up close. There's nothing I can really change about that. All we can do is try to do the best we can here in the present and here in the now, and make the future more positive, especially for her kids. She's got a two-year-old daughter. She's a gorgeous big girl. She turned 2 this past October, and she's already in 5T clothing, maybe even 6-year-old clothing right now. I'd like to play basketball with her one day. Let me just say. And then she's got a little boy on the way. She already knows the gender. He's due in August. My other sister, Sophia, she's the youngest. She's 16. She just had her little boy, Antonio, on March 31st. He's the cutest little thing. I have yet to post a few pictures of him on the community page. And I think if I remember when I get done recording this video, I'll upload 2 or 3 pictures of him on my community page so you guys can see more of him. He's, oh my goodness, I got him in this little, his little swinger thingy that you push a button and it swings him side to side. He loves that. He loves that so much. She's got an issue with the battery thingy though. I think there's like a part missing or something, or like a charging portion. So I don't know. You have to sit there and you have to rock him. But I was sitting there rocking him, talking to him, blowing kisses at him and stuff. And he just had his little hands up and he just kind of moved his hands around, and I took a picture. Like, he's so cute. So anyways, aside from the depression triggers, I remember my blessings. I have my own place. I have a full-time job. I have a beautiful furry feline that I've had for 15 years since she was a baby. I have all of my beautiful yarn, which I know you guys can't see right now, but I'm looking at. There's probably $1,000 worth sitting in front of me, and there's probably more than that in my yarn studio, and then almost as much in my bedroom. I have way too much. Those 2 giveaways, one for the 1-year podcast anniversary and the birthday giveaway, those are packed and ready to go. I've got to slap your addresses on them, ladies. Tina and Melanie, or Melanie. Melanie, is it Melanie or is it Melanie? Is it Melanie, number 1, or Melanie, number 2? So leave in the comments 1 or 2 which one's right, because they can be pronounced both ways. But thank you for being a yarny friend, and congratulations on winning the giveaways, ladies. We'll be having another giveaway soon once I reach 1,000 subscribers. And I'm going to tell you about the yarn behind me. This is just a blanket that I've been working on. I showed you guys this in one of my previous videos. And the yarn I'm using for this, let me find it. The Lion Brand Mandela. and this is the softest acrylic I've ever worked with in my life. I love it so much. They're 5.3 ounce cakes, 150 grams, 344 yards, 315 meters, 100% acrylic, those gorgeous purple tones. I'm all about the purples. I have this colorway, no, I have this yarn in a different colorway. It's the black and gray tones. I don't remember the color name though, but it's the black and gray tones. It's on my shelf in the studio. It's like, it looks like newspaper print. And I'm going to make a triangular shawl with that in a different stitch. This is a triangle shape right now because I'm working the C to C stitch, which is the corner to corner. But to keep the gaps a lot smaller, when you initially start your rows, the basic pattern says to chain 6, and then you chain, and then you do 3 double crochets in those first 3 chains, and then you chain 3, for each of these little bitty blocks across each row. You chain 3, and then you do 3 double crochets. Well, instead of chaining 6 to start each row, I chain 5, and then I still do the 3 double crochets in the first 3 chains, and then when you start each block, I chain 2 to go up, and then I do my 3 double crochets, and that makes these gaps in between the blocks much, much smaller, gives you a little bit denser of a fabric, but you still have gaping holes. You still have gaping holes, especially when it stretches, but you can't tell as much. See, you can't tell as much. And this yarn is gorgeous. It's like the softest. If you want something machine washable and dryable, and you want like the softest thing ever, if you have the most sensitive skin and you're afraid to crochet something and put it up against your skin, or making it for somebody who has skin sensitive issues, or if for a newborn, I mean, I can't tell you how soft it's like butter soft. It's like, it's how soft and smooth and cushiony velvet can be, not to mention a gorgeous fabric. This is softer than velvet in my opinion. It's like, my grandmother always told me that the back of my hand always felt like a rose petal. This feels pretty dang near close. Like, I've never worked with any acrylic yarn so soft. So I'm going to include a few of these cakes in my 1,000 subscriber giveaway, because I love this yarn so much, and I think you guys will too. And that will give someone else an opportunity, if they haven't been able to try this Mandala Ombre by Lion Brand, a nice try for this. And I have tons of these cakes in the purple colorway, so I will include 2 cakes. And then I am going to go to Walmart on the 21st. That's when I get paid. I have to go to Walmart and get some new shoes for work, and get some groceries. Piece of fuzz on my eye. I'm going to see if they have any other colors, because these are at Walmart. And I'm going to buy some cakes and some other colorways and include those in giveaways, because I like buying yarn for giveaways too when I can. There's what the colorway looks like when you work it up in a striped pattern. Almost like an ombre effect. There's like 4 or 5 different tones in it of purples, and it looks like a water shade, kind of like a distressed water, like watered down tones of purple. And then here's the strand up close. You can see the purple tones kind of splattered throughout just a little bit. Anyways, I'm rambling on about this yarn. So I'm making a C to C blanket with this. That's all it is, C to C. I chain 5 when I start each row, and I chain 2 for each block. And I'm probably going to use at least a dozen cakes. The way the C to C patterns work, if you're not familiar, it's corner to corner. You start at the corner, the bottom of your screen. You start here, and you crochet back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then you get this big triangular piece. Now that's perfect if you just want to make a shawl. Gorgeous pattern for prayer shawls. And it'll give you a practice on starting a possible blanket. Because decreasing can be a separate video of its own, because this is where you're just doing increases on both edges. But once you get the triangular as wide as you want, like as wide as you want, we'll pretty much go from there down to there. If my lines are straight, then you would start decreasing. So this line would be straight instead of going out like the triangle. You start decreasing. So this line would be straight, and then like my screen is a rectangle right now, so you just want to make a square. You just decrease on both sides, and then your triangle will go more narrow, more narrow, more narrow. Your rows will become shorter again until you get to the very point. And when you get to that very point, you know you're done. But for me, I do like to put borders on these. You don't have to. You don't have to put a border on the C to C, because I'll go ahead and show you what my border looks like right now. It does have a very straight edge. You see that? It has a really, really nice, pretty edge. And there's one of Raven's hairs everywhere. Cat life. You don't have to put a border on this. You can if you want to. I like the idea of putting on a border. If I were to do that, I would follow one of Krista's videos from the Secret Yarnery. You go through each block, and I would just do like a single crochet between each block, or whatever stitch I was working, whether it's a half double or double crochet for my border. You could slip stitch in between each block or single crochet into it, and then you could do your stitches. And I would do, I don't know, I would do maybe 2 stitches, or I would do I would like chain 2 or something, or chain 3, and then single crochet in between each block, chain a few, and then single crochet in between the next block, chain a few, and just repeat. And that sets you up for a border, so that you can make an even border. And in this cake up here, I've been making socks. Here's my knitting loom. I have it right here. This is one of the tables that this is the table that my grandparents gave me. The little 3 Lego table. I love this thing so much. It's so cute. This table is just big enough for the king size Addie, and right now I have the miniature Addie on it. So beautiful. Beautiful. If I can even pronunciate my words correctly today too. So I've been making socks like this like crazy. I just got done making a pair for a work colleague. I've asked her to be my pretty much test guinea pig, essentially. So once I sew this is the toe in. Once I sew these two, here, let me show you. The socks doubled up. Here it is inside out. Socks doubled up, right? So all I did was just double it up, and then once I sew the 2 ends together, and then I pull it closed, and I knot it, and then I weave in the tails, it's done. And this is the cuff up here, nice and folded edge, nice and clean, and it's just wide enough where it'll cushion your calf or your ankle nicely and keep it warm, and it doesn't really slide down. I find that 240 rows on this small loom is too much. I think 220 would be the maximum rows for if you want like crew length socks. So I'm going to write that down. 220 rows for crew length. And then you probably just want 180 rows for ankle socks. Then for heel socks, like to go below your ankle, like where the little side bone sticks out, where your ankle bone sticks out, I think 150 rows would be more than enough. You'd probably even get away with 140 rows. So I might test that out. I'm not sure. I'm still playing around with row counts, but I think 240 is way too much. I think 220 would be the max, and then 140 would be the minimum, depending on how tall you want your cuff to be on your sock. And these are just tube socks, no heel, no toe, all just one tube knitted on the loom with your waste yarn starting at the starting point and then at the end. So I've got 2 colors of waste yarn that are contrasting to the body of the work, and so I can see my stitches much better when I sew these together. These are pretty much one size fits all. That's my main point. These are one size fits all socks, but the row count will determine how tall your cuff of your sock is. So like I said, heel socks, which just goes, it goes just past your heel and covers your entire foot, but no ankle, they're like ankle socks. 140 rows. And then I'm calling ankle socks the little bitty cuffs that just go up just enough to cover your ankle and your little ankle bone, 180 rows. And then crew socks, you want them up your calf a little bit more, 220 rows. If you have skinny legs, if you're thin as a toothpick, you can get away with boot socks. And I would say if you wanted to go that far, the stitch count should be 280 rows. I'm not doing that much. But if you're younger or if you're skinnier and you like the really long socks, even if you like to sleep in like long stockings, if you live in a cold climate, 280 rows, and then just double your tube up and sew the toe closed right here, and then the folded edge is your cuff, and you got the comfiest house socks to sleep in. Bam! So I think these are gorgeous. I think they came out really nice, and I've been wearing these all day, and that was a little bit of a pick-me-up, even though I've been crying all day. This is a mental health video, but it's still yarn related, and I still want this to be a happy video. So the yarn I used for these really nice comfy house socks, Baby Design from Ice Yarns. Yes, I'm all about the ice yarns. And this is a 2-weight yarn, which I think works great on the knitting loom for socks. 2-weight yarn is good because, like I said, this yarn is doubled up, so it makes it thick and cushiony, almost like you used a 4-weight yarn. In my opinion, it's actually almost like I used a 5 worsted weight yarn. Worsted weight yarn is a 4, a 5 bulky yarn, and it's just a single layer. That's what it feels like to me. With this 2-weight yarn doubled up, it feels like a chunky 5 in a single layer. That's just my opinion though. But this is a 100-gram skein. It's 100% baby acrylic, so it's great for baby stuff. It's 360 meters. Like I said, it's a 2-weight. They call for a 3.5 millimeter hook. But again, I just did this off the knitting loom. And I'm really glad I did because, like I said, I've been wearing these socks all day, and they are one of the most comfortable things I've ever made. My work colleague lives pretty much in the same area, walking distance even. So once I get these all stitched up for her, all I have to do is, when you want me to drop these off, then I'll go clip them to your door. I'll go leave them on your doorstep. So anyways, what else did I have to show you guys? I made another pair of socks, and that's where this cake comes in. This is a Karen Latte cake. This is from Yarn Inspirations. I bought this from Michael's for $9.99. Some of these did go on clearance for $5.99. Some of the colorways did. This colorway is called Earl Grey. I really wanted this in like pink or purple tones, or even like the teal or the blue tones would be gorgeous. I would love to have more of this to make socks. Oh my goodness. It's like socks. If shipping, like I promise you, if shipping prices were not involved and you were able to send me a parcel for like $1 with one of these cakes inside, I would use the whole entire cake and make you a bunch of socks, and I just mail them right back to you in that same parcel. But because of shipping costs, as much as I would love to do that, I can't afford to keep mailing packages out. So this is like the best yarn to make socks with. And I got a tip in somebody's comment in one of my last videos. So thank you. I don't remember your name. She so kindly suggested that nylon for making socks makes your socks last longer. So cheers for the tip. Thank you so much. Like, I think that's another thing I would like to start doing. If you guys have any tips that you would like to share, that you would like for me to share on this channel, feel free to drop them off in the comments. I read. Sorry, there's traffic in front of my window. Foot traffic. If you want me to share anyone's comments in a video, feel free to drop them off in the comments. You can email me. I know I don't check my emails often enough, and I do wholeheartedly apologize. It's really hard to talk to people when I'm suffering with depression. So I do apologize for that. I made a post on Facebook, and one of you kind ladies left a comment. I'm thinking about deleting the comment though, because it did upset some people, and it upset myself. I was basically venting about my depression. Raven just now settled on my lap. Here she is. I'm gonna bend the camera down. Say hi, Raven. Say hi, Raven. So my post on Facebook was pretty much me venting about, suicidal thoughts came back. Now, this is the same category. Anything with suicide. Same category. I understand that. I don't want no one to freak out. I don't want no one to worry about me. I'm okay. I'm not going nowhere. Especially with Raven. I'm not leaving Raven behind. She's the main reason I'm still here. I trolled off. What was I saying? I have suicidal thoughts. I don't have tendencies to want to hurt myself, let alone anyone else. I don't have the heart to hurt anyone else. I will never understand how anyone on this planet could hurt any other living creature. The only thing I've ever hurt was a bug. I will confess that I have actually murdered a bug in my backyard. I was probably 10 or 11. I was playing with I had one of those little kiddie pools. Or no, it was one of those blow-up pool. You blow it up and you put water in it. You play with it in the backyard. I was in my bathing suit. It was hot. There were trees back there. We had ladybugs in there. I was always catching ladybugs. And a mosquito landed in my pool. It landed in my pool. And I had this little fishnet thingy I was playing with. And I put the fishnet over the mosquito. And I watched it die. I saw a bubble come up. So that is the only thing I can kill is a bug. I murdered a bug. It's kind of funny thinking about that. But I would never have the heart to hurt myself or anybody else. I have these thoughts because of depression. Because of the severity of the depression that I go through. I was diagnosed with depression in 2nd grade. My teacher's name was Mrs. Morales. She loved frogs. She had short, dark, curly hair. She wore glasses. She was a quiet, yet very kind, older lady. She loved frogs. She had frogs all over the classroom. The little reward sheets that she had, for us, those teacher flyers and printouts that you would hang up in the classrooms for kids and stuff, images and pictures of frogs everywhere. That's the main thing I remember about her. But since then, depression has been hard for me. It has been off and on. I have been off and on medications. Actually, after I was first diagnosed, I went through a series of, trying out medications that would work for me. I don't remember any of those medications, of course, but there was one medication in particular. I was young. I was 12, or I was probably young. I was 11 or 12. I remember I was laying in bed one night. I had taken my medication. It was a normal day. Went to school, had dinner with the family. Mom and Dad were still up watching TV. I slept with the box fan. I liked the white noise. I could not go to sleep. I felt like I was somebody else. I felt like I was in somebody's house. I felt like I was in somebody else's room. I felt like I was in a place I was not supposed to be. I started freaking out a little bit. And I called on my mother. I got up and I called on her, and I'm like, I can't sleep. I'm going to take a shower. For some reason, I thought maybe taking a shower would help me. And it did. I told her about how I was feeling, and I never took that medication again. Excuse me, so sorry. I hate doing that, but I eventually found a medication that did work for me, and that was called Wellbutrin. I have since been off and on, trying to wean myself off. I've had happy times in my life where I didn't need it for years. Like, I stopped taking it, I want to say in my mid-20s. I don't remember exactly, but in my mid-20s, I stopped taking it. And then up until about 2 years ago, I started taking it again because I've had a lot of triggers come back, and especially with my grandfather passing and one of my best friends passing this year, and drama and irritations at work. You know, there's been a lot going on. But what I'm taking now is called bupropion. Well, I'm not taking it currently. I've actually called my doctor. I called my doctor today. So I'm taking care of things. I'm taking care of myself. I know I'm having negative thoughts. And I watched a lot of YouTube videos today. That's all I've been doing is watching YouTube videos. I haven't been in the crochet community today. I've been watching other videos that are completely off topic and nothing to do with crochet. Nothing to do with yarn or art at all. I've been watching just other random stuff just to pass the time and to calm me down and give me some sort of comfort and relaxation, and it's been helping. And that's another reason why I'm on here today, to talk to you guys and hang out with you guys for a minute, because you guys are my friends, and I'm so grateful. Sorry. So grateful that you guys are my friends. You guys are sincerely the nicest people. The nicest people I have in my life right now. I talked to my grandma today, and she said I need to dust myself off. I need to put my coat on. I need to get outside. I need to go for a walk. I need to go find a church. I need to go find a place where I can meet people, make some friends, yada, yada, yada. I totally get that. I love going outside. I love the outdoors. It just sucks when I have no one to enjoy it with. And I've chosen to be alone these past 2 years because a lot of people are evil. A lot of people are so mean. I encounter mean people all the time. And especially at work. There's just mean people all day long. And it can go all the way down to just the smallest little thing. Like, I don't care what anybody says. If you've never worked in retail, if you've never stood behind and worked a cash register, I don't think you would ever agree with my opinion. My best friend doesn't agree with my opinion, and that's fine. You don't have to. It's just my opinion that if you are a live person, willing to work, willing to be happy and friendly and greet people and help people with their purchases, you would think that the person on the other side of the counter would have the decency and be polite just enough to not have a phone at their ear. It's not life or death. You would not be in this place of business here in my store if it was life or death. Like, it takes less than 60 seconds to help a customer at the register at my job. I can't tell you where I work. I can't go too much into detail with that. But it is in the public. And I just find it rude. We all do. Anyone who's ever worked a cash register, we all find it rude. Like, I'm a live human being, willing to be here and willing to help you and willing to be friendly. And when you don't even look at the cashier, or you don't even say hello, like, a lot of people, they won't say anything. They'll ignore you. They'll continue their phone conversation. They'll say thank you right before walking out the door, and that's the only acknowledgement that you get. That's fine, whatever. That was some kind of acknowledgement at least. But it's not, if it's not life or death, you should put the phone down. That's my opinion. That's my suggestion, because I don't do that when I approach a cashier. They are a live human being. They deserve just as much respect as the person over the phone does, because the person over the phone, they're not there. They're not present, standing in front of you. Like, you don't go, I don't know. You don't go into a place of business not expecting for someone to say something to you. I mean, it's inevitable. You go out into public, someone's going to say something to you. Of course, I don't need to be venting about this to you guys because you guys are the most nicest people in the world. If anyone needs to hear this, I think it's every other community, pretty much. But that's another reason why this community is a great platform to spread love, because that's the main reason I'm here on this channel, is to spread love, not hate. The world needs more love. There's too many problems in the world. There's too many things going on to where we should be crying over spilled milk, you know, and I don't want to worry about the people coming in that have their phones to their ears, you know. So many people are so busy and they have so much going on in their lives, you know, it's hard to stop and have respect for people in our times, in our day and age. Like me personally, I wish we could go back to the 70s, where businesses weren't even open on holidays, and we didn't have Black Friday, and we didn't have all this commercialized stuff, sales, and all this chaos. I mean, I just wish we could go back to simpler times, to where people were nicer and things were just easier. So back to my medicine, I did trail off on that. I weaned myself off of my medication last December because I was, you know, it's getting expensive. My medication can be expensive. It's not like, oh, I don't know. I don't want to say it's profanely expensive. It's not really offensively expensive. You know, if you know what I mean. You know, it's just a little bit expensive, but not a lot expensive. It's profane, not offensive. So I can still afford it. It's just the fact of that I have to get 2 different prescriptions, just to counteract the stupid symptoms that I have. I'm taking the off-brand of Wellbutrin, which is called bupropion, and then, excuse me, to counteract extra side effects, they put me on what's called duloxetine, 60 milligrams. I don't mind telling you guys this because it can help somebody else out, and it's a cheaper over-the-counter drug, just like bupropion is to Wellbutrin. Bupropion is the off-brand, and it's cheaper, and it has the same effect, and it's been working for me. So I requested those 2 medications be refilled, and I have a virtual video appointment with the doctor in the morning. So I'm taking care of myself, guys. Don't you worry. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm not leaving you guys. You guys are awesome. I have suggestions every once in a while, like you should get out there, and you should go date, and you should go to church, and yada yada yada. My bottom line is that people are evil. A lot of people are evil. I see more mean people than nice people. I grew up going to a Baptist church. I don't agree with all of their ways. There was a dark time in my life right before I moved into my apartment here. It was September. It was August, September. I think it was September. I think it was late August or early September 2018. I was at a very, very, very dark and low point. I reached out to my church pastor and requested 2 other ministers that I speak to my church pastor. He's the one that I knew. I knew him better than the other church pastors and the other church ministers. I could not get a hold of him. I've left him messages on Facebook. I called the church. I tried emailing him. I tried leaving messages for him to contact me. My church pastor never got my message. They instead had someone else call me, and I didn't know who he was. I wasn't familiar with him at all. And it's more comforting to someone who seeks help if they are able to connect with someone who they are more comfortable speaking to, because that certainly helps matters. So because I couldn't get a hold of my church pastor, I completely cut off that church for good for the rest of my life. I'll never go back. My sisters at that church. Excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm being a little messy. I'm sorry. My two little sisters, the ones that are a year apart, the one that just had a baby and the one who I haven't been able to talk to. There have been members of that church who treated them. For things that they're not even at fault of. There were a lot of things that my mother had done, and a lot of activities that she brought around the church that they noticed that were negative. And because of our mother's behavior, it left a horrible influencing mark, I guess, on us kids. And anytime me or my sisters have anything to do with the church, we're looked down upon just because of our mother's behavior. And then dating. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on dating. I have not wanted to date in 2 years. Partially because my last relationship ended badly. I ended the relationship because I wasn't going to let the person talk to me the way they were. And there was no way to have an adult civil conversation in a calm manner. So instead of allowing things to escalate and feeding the situation and giving it more reasons to escalate, I ended it. I pretty much terminated the whole thing. And I've been wary of dating because of all the BS I've dealt with in my 20s of dating. It's not fun anymore like it used to be. I dread going out there and finding a possible husband. I dread going into public areas where I would have to meet and talk and converse with people. If there is a yarn convention somewhere in my area, I'm all over it. If it has anything to do with art and yarn, those are pretty much the only kind of people I want to connect with. But I live on the edge of town. I live on the edge of Oklahoma City. I pretty much live on the edge of a rural area. Well, there's a rural area, and then the outside edge, and then city limits, and then I'm within city limits. So, I mean, there's still a lot around me, but there's not a lot around me to where everything is around me. I only have like the basics. I have a grocery store, I have my job, I have a few clinics, I have medical dispensaries, I have my bank, and I have a few relatives that live nearby, and a few gas stations, and a few fast food joints, and that's it. That's pretty much all that's around me. That's it. If I want to go to the movie theater, that's all the way across town. If I want to go to my doctor's office, that's all the way across town. Because my new doctor is all the way across town. I can't afford to go over there. I don't have the transportation. So that makes things really, really tough as far as getting therapy and getting more medicines that I would need. Because compound medications, I can't get those at my pharmacy. Compound medications, those are all the way across town too. Back 2 years ago when I was having nausea issues and I couldn't take nausea medication because I would just throw it right back up, they make compounds that come in a cream and you rub those between your wrist, right? I'm sure many of you guys have taken compounds on your wrist. You have to go all the way across town to get them. So, luckily, back then, 2 years ago, I had a ride. I was dating somebody and I had a couple more friends that were not going through drama and stuff. But anyways, I trolled off again. I was going to show you guys some socks. This is how my head is today. My head moves so fast. I can't finish talking about one thought before I move on to the next. And then I jump back to that previous thought and finish it. And then I go back and finish that second thought that I started when I was in the middle of the first thought. You know what I mean? People in my family call me an F5 because I'm always moving around so much. I'm moving around so much. I'm clumsy. I drop things. I spill things. I have broken so many things. Not in my own home, but at work. Sorry if my job ever sees this, but yes, I have accidentally broken a few things at work because I'm trying to be so efficient and so quick about getting things done so I can get back up on the register to help people. Because sometimes we can get so busy and there's so much that has to get done. But that's just how I am naturally too. I've always been like that in my own home. When I'm cleaning the kitchen, when I'm doing my chores, when I'm moving furniture, moving boxes, when I'm just moving stuff around, Raven gets scared. She goes in the closet and she hides. Raven knows that when I'm doing stuff, when I'm doing chores around the apartment and I'm moving boxes and purging and getting rid of things, Raven stays hidden because she doesn't want to get stepped on. I have stepped on Raven. I have stepped on her a few times because of that. Sorry, guys. Sorry. And that's an accident. That's an accident. And Raven knows Raven knows I mean well. She's sitting right next to me. She's right here next to me. She knows I mean well. Sorry, that just triggered a memory. There's been a couple of times when I accidentally stepped on her, or I accidentally rolled over on her, waking up in bed one morning. I didn't know she was there, and I rolled on top of her, and it made me cry so hard. But she's okay. She's okay. And I give her treats and extra love. She's okay. But happy video, happy channel, happy joy. I'm okay, guys. Really, I'm okay. It's my depression doing this. It's I loathe this. I don't like crying at all. It drives me nuts. It's like a water faucet. I can't turn it off. And I've prayed, and I've talked to Jesus, and I've asked for strength, and I've asked the people I know on Facebook with my venting to help ask and help pray for strength for me. But I trolled off again, and I was going to tell you about this yarn. See, that's how I am. My mind is an F5, and I can't finish one thought before moving on to the next. So, this is a fuzzy yarn, as you can tell, but it's some of the softest yarn I've ever worked with. It is softer than the Lion brand Mandela, only because this has nylon in it. And again, that wonderful YouTube friend of ours left this nice comment saying nylon for socks will make your socks last longer. I'm sorry, guys. Colorway was Earl Grey. It's an 8.8 ounce cake, 250 grams, 530 yards, and 485 meters. I can get 2 pairs of socks out of this one cake. And I'll show you one pair that I've made so far. And these are going to be sent to somebody. And I have a whole bunch more I will be making. But here's one pair. And I think they came out so nice. So great. They're the same size. One of them is just a little bit stretched out more than the other. But they're reversible. Like I said, they're just doubled over. And they're just simple tube socks. Simple tube socks. And these are, where's my notes? Where'd my notes go? Oh, Raven's sorry. Raven's laying on my notes. These socks are 100, no, I'm sorry, these socks are 200 rows. No. I'm trying to remember which pair I made. Okay, these are the heel socks that I made. These are 160 rows, which I think might be too much. I'm going to start doing 140 rows and see how that works. But these socks are 160 rows on my small Addy 22 needle loom machine. 22 needles. I think it's, I'm just confirming because this is my first machine. Yeah, it's 22 needles. I had to confirm for myself. But these are so great. I made a pair for myself, but they are 240 rows, so they're crew sock size. I like them to go up my leg a little bit, keep my legs warm. That's all I have for you guys. I did not intend for this video to be so long, but please know that you are not alone if you suffer with mental illness of any kind. I have severe depression, and it sucks bad. And I have friends who suffer from depression, and we don't talk because our depression gets the best of us. And we always think that we're in the way and that we're just causing problems. And I know that's not the case. I know that's not the case. I remember that I had blessings. I have more blessings than other people out there. And I have fewer reasons to be depressed than other people. It's just a mental illness that I want gone. And I don't want medication covering it up like a band-aid. I just want it gone. Like, is there a cure for depression? Does anybody know if there's a cure for depression? Because I don't want to go stand in line for medicine. That's going to keep me coming back for more medicine. And more medicine. You know, and then sometimes you have side effects with these medicines, and then you have to go back for more medicine for those side effects. What they do to keep us coming back. That's sad too, but that's a whole other story, and that has nothing to do with this channel. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you guys are having a great week. I'm actually on vacation time now, so I have some time off. I'm hoping to do some purging and make some videos. That'll be a good pick-me-up. I need to make some videos and hang out with you guys. So, leave some hearts in your comments. Leave some love for me, please. You don't have to say a lot. I mean, I really don't want to talk about my depression. I really don't want to talk about this. And I'm just kind of here to vent and let you guys know that you're not alone. I'm here for those of you who suffer with mental depression or any mental illness. If you ever find yourself sitting alone and you feel lonely, those are the people I want to talk to. If you're alone and you get bored during the day, that's the person I need to talk to. If you're up late at night, can't sleep. I'm usually up till about 1 or 2 in the morning, Central Time. I'm going to go because this is just far too long of a video, and I need to wrap it up. But I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for relating with me. And feel free to reach out to me if you want to and leave some hearts in the comments. I love you guys. Bye-bye.